How to get a good start in Arknights Endfield. Is it worth rerolling in this game? What kind of mistakes you may do, how to avoid them, what should you pay attention to? Resource management, gacha system, combat mechanics, team compositions, everything we're going to discuss in this video. I'm going to give you 15 tips to have a good start in Arknights Endfield. So let's begin. And first things first, we're going to start with tutorials in this game. I know, you may say, what the heck? But funny enough, in this game they're going to matter a lot. There are many tutorials, and they're really going to explain how this game is actually working, what things you need to keep in mind, and what should you pay attention to. We are usually used to, skip these parts, don't pay too much attention, don't read, and just figure this out on ourselves just during the gameplay. We're going to figure it out somehow. In this game it might be not that obvious, not that easy, and afterwards it's going to take you quite a lot of time to remember what's being presented in this game. And you have many facilities, many mechanics that are going to require consistent management from you. So you really need to kinda try to figure out how different procedures of this game are going to work, and what should you do with this or that one facility, how to build different structures, how to manage your factory, how the combat system is working. They did a good job in terms of explanations, but not everyone is going to like that. Is going to take quite a lot of time. But once again, my recommendation is to pay attention to it and try to practice it, and it's going to make your life really easier. Afterwards you're going to understand how to manage precisely, how to spend less time, and so on and so forth. So yeah, pay attention to tutorials. Second moment is going to be regarding re-rolling. If it's going to worth in this game or not really. Let's discuss this aspect. So first of all, when we're going to start playing this game on official release, we're going to get certain pre-registration rewards. There are not many of them, and I mean in total you're going to receive something like 20 summons from a regular banner. Maybe we're going to receive some additional rewards through playing this game, but they're not going to be too much. And overall, to complete the tutorial part and reach the moment when you're going to summon for characters, is going to take around 30 to 40 minutes. It's not a fast one process. If you're going to skip the cutscenes, if you're going to try speedrun it, yeah, but it's quite a lot of time. And the drop rates for characters, if we're not talking about the pity, is 0.8%. It's literally nothing. So it's really up to you if you want to spend that amount of time to reroll for different characters. If it's going to matter to get early pulls for 6-star characters, I don't think so. In general, in this game, when we're speaking about different team compositions, different characters, and the way how they're going to perform in your team, it's really going to depend more on strategical aspect, on roles of different characters, and so on and so forth. Dupes are not going to matter, so like 6 stars, yeah, great, nice. Obviously they're going to perform a bit better than 5 or 4-star characters, but still you're not going to build a full team of 6-star characters around something, I don't know. It's not going to make a lot of sense. So me personally, I'm not going to focus on rerolling in this game, but it's definitely up to you. Again, chances are kinda low, and it's really going to take quite some time to complete tutorial part. This is it. Third moment is going to be about the battle pass. And we have a single one battle pass, at least right now, which is going to consist of 3 parts. One of them is going to be completely free. 2 others are going to be some kind of purchasable. One is pure pay to win, The other one is for the currency which you are able to receive yourself during the gameplay. An amount of this currency isn't going to be too much. It's really going to depend on how devs are going to present it on official release, but for example this one, Originum Supply, you're able to purchase it with this yellow currency, which again at certain point you're able to get yourself during the gameplay, and obviously it's going to give you some additional materials, additional resources, which are going to be a good benefit, advantage for development of your account. And the amount which is required for purchasing this one battle pass is going to be not that high. As well as you're going to buy this battle pass, you're going to receive these yellow orbs. After completion the full battle pass, this is going to be enough to purchase the next one battle pass, which is going to be presented afterwards, and even you're going to have some extra of these yellow orbs, so you're able to collect them over a certain period of time if we're speaking about free-to-play players. And again, if developers are going to present options in terms of how you're able to farm this currency, well, you're able to use them later on for summons if it's going to be needed for yourself, or maybe say for something else. Again, this is going to provide certain resources, materials for development of your account. Not a bad thing to keep in mind. As we started to speak about different currencies, here is going to be a really nice moment to speak a little bit about the summons and the gacha system. Obviously there's going to be a currency which is called Rerolls, which you're able to spend for summons. It's not only headhunting tickets which you're able to farm after completion of different chapters, maybe as a certain rewards, as pre-registration rewards, and so on and so forth. We're going to have different banners for characters. Here's an important moment to keep in mind. I wouldn't really recommend you to spend Rerolls on basic banner, only headhunting permits, because these characters, they're not going to disappear, they're going to stay here forever. And the rate up banner characters, they're going to stay with us for 3 rotations within a banner. So it's like 3 months in total, I believe. And after that they're going to disappear. Of course, we're going to have reruns after a certain period of time, and again in this game dupes aren't going to matter that much, but you need to prepare yourself, and especially as a free-to-play player, collect enough resources to be able to summon for a hard pity, so called, because it's going to be 120 pulls is exactly the moment when you're going to grant yourself a 6-star character, which is a rate up character in this manner specifically. So planning in advance, collecting resources, completing daily missions, weekly missions, which are going to give you these Rerolls resource management. From this perspective, it's going to matter a lot. Don't spend it on whatever reasons are going to be there. You have the beginner's banner, you're going to get yourself a 6-star character from the very beginning after completion of certain chapters in the story mode. You have the basic banner, which again you're going to use just whenever you have permits. And the only banner where you're going to spend your Rerolls, your currency, should be the rate up banner. Tip number 5. Don't forget about existence of different shops in this game. And there are a couple of them, at least from what I remember. And from each one of them you're able to buy yourself different materials, resources, even summons. So checking out them regularly is going to provide you certain benefits, maybe even summon tickets, maybe something else, which is going to make your life easier. But important moment to keep in mind that you need first of all to figure out which materials are going to matter the most for you, for development of your account, characters, and which are going to be the most valuable for purchases. You don't want to spend these currencies for whatever reasons and whatever materials are going to be provided there, because some of them are limited to a certain amount, others are going to have an infinite stock potential. So yeah, paying attention to markets, to different facilities which are going to provide you different benefits, mats are going to matter, but don't spend currencies that you're going to farm hard enough to know where. Tip number 6. Keep in mind that each character has different roles. In total we have, if I recall it correctly, 6 roles right now available. And building a full team of DPS units is not going to give you anything. I mean, they're going to die, and you won't be able to clear opponents really fast enough. They're also going to have different elements and so on and so forth, but the most important part here is to stick to a single one allocation of different roles in your team, or multiple teams depending on what you're going to have, and try to follow one pattern. You're going to have one DPS unit, you're going to have all the other characters which are going to support performance of your main DPS. There might be pure supporters, there might be healers, there might be defenders, or maybe some kind of semi-support DPS unit, which is also going to give benefit to your team composition. Tip number 7. Elements that you're going to have in this game. Keep them in mind and the way how they're going to work. It's not going to be a really good one thing to just mix all elements and build your team of whatever characters are going to be presented. Eventually, after a certain period of time, you want to follow certain patterns, team compositions, elements, and so on and so forth, because their performance and synergies that you're going to receive after causing different inflictions and the way how certain debuffs or buffs are going to work is going to improve your performance and make your life easier. So you want to consider for yourself bringing inside of your team 2 elements that are going to synergize the most. Of course, you can build for yourself a full team which is going to consist of a single one element, but I believe it's not going to be the best solution. You want to combine different effects from characters that you're going to receive from elements, different buffs or debuffs, which again are going to make opponents slower, maybe stagger him, maybe lift him up, throw him down, or knock him back or something like that. You understand what I mean. And applying once again DOT damage, for example, from the burn element, or combustion effect from a combination of 2 different inflictions, where the second one infliction is the burn element, for example, or something else, is going to make and give you that strategical type of a gameplay and feeling of a certain control over different enemies. Tip number 8. Pay attention to the skills that your characters are going to have and the way how you're able to trigger the combat skills, because they have different cooldowns, different triggers, different requirements, and in certain cases you are able to make it properly that you're going to have a really good, nice chain of different attacks, as well as this is going to charge your ultimates way faster, and this is going to be one of the main sources of your damage in certain cases, or applying different buffs or debuffs depending on the character that you're playing. This is going to bring us to tip number 9. Don't forget that during combat you are able to switch between different characters, and of course you need to use it frequently, always, because switching between characters allows you to use not only their basic attacks, but also skills which otherwise are going to be triggered and used by characters or randomly, or even in certain cases not used at all. Certain skills are able once again apply different buffs or debuffs or inflictions, so causing the chain of different inflictions again going to trigger different effects. This is quite an important part of strategical thinking in this game. Tip number 10. Yes, this is the action type of a game, but with strategical elements. So positioning is going to matter, because as you can see here, for example, some characters in certain cases with the combat skills are going to do some weird stuff, missing their hits because of a poor positioning. So thinking about the skills, the way how they are working, if they are AoE skills or range type of skills, is going to matter a lot in terms of placing your main character, taking a certain position, regrouping, and so on and so forth. Keep this in mind. Tip number 11 about resource management. This is quite an important one. At the very beginning, you're not going to have infinite amount of resources, and leveling up different characters might be pretty much expensive, or you're going to just miss certain mats. So yeah, later on it's going to be easier, but with the progression of your characters, with limit breaking them or upgrade their ranking skills, combat skills, is going to always require different resources. As already mentioned, the higher level, the more materials you're going to need to upgrade your characters. So at the very beginning, the only one recommendation which I have is to focus on one, maximum 2 teams, with spending your resources for upgrading all of their skills, levels, and so on and so forth, and figure out how to farm these or that materials, which is going to bring us to the next tip, which is number 12. And yes, it's all about the automated industry complex, or so-called factory, which after progression to a certain extent, after automizing it, making it independent structure, is going to help you perform way better, is able to provide you with enough of different materials, resources, which are going to be needed for crafting different stuff, for crafting healing potions, for crafting different gears or something else. And figuring out how this system, the factory system, is going to work is going to matter a lot. It's a core element of this game. So huge suggestion here: follow all the tutorials which are related to factory system and try to bring it to automation. Try to bring it to a certain level where you're going to farm passively different materials. Figure out how exactly is this working, figure out which materials are going to be needed for crafting different stuff. And again, this is actually bringing us to the next topic, which is going to be related to gears. Number 13. Yes, gears, and here also we're going to speak about weapons, because they all are going to matter in terms of our performance. Everything is going to give you additional stats and additional effects which you are going to use during the combats, obviously passively. The increased damage, the increased, I don't know, agility, width, depending on the character and the type of weapon or gears which you're using for this or that one operator. They're going to differ, but they're going to improve your performance by a lot. This is like a major source of different stats and improvements for your operators' performance. Even in certain cases, maybe progressing with some lower tier weapons like 4-5 star weapons, I believe 5-star weapons, sometimes, at least at the very beginning, might be more beneficial rather than progression with top tier weapons. And also different gear sets are going to provide you with additional set effects. Like here, for example, you can see 3-piece set effect, where strength is going to be increased by 50 additional points. When the weather's HP is below 50%, gains 30% damage reduction against all types of damage. So following these aspects in terms of different sets of gears, in terms of leveling progression with gears, leveling progression with your weapons, and upgrading them, working on potentials, is going to give you such a huge boost in terms of your damage output, performance of your characters. It's crazy. And of course, Of course, when we're speaking about 6-star weapons, they're going to give you the most benefit for sure, especially over a certain period of time when you will be able to work on them properly, especially signatures for, I don't know, 6-star characters, for example. And also in certain cases, the way how the gacha system for weapons is working in this game, maybe collecting certain weapons which are universal, not signatures, are going to be beneficial overall later on, especially for some kind of 4 or 5-star characters, because you will be able to give this weapon which is going to give the most amount of effects and benefits, and it's going to work just great. So first focusing on some lower tier weapons. Later on we need to also progress with signatures for some of our key characters, because this is going to give the most benefit, and also working over a certain period of time on the universal weapons which you're able to use for like everyone. But again, keep in mind that all the weapons, they're going to differ from one character to another based on what's going to be allowed to use for them. Tip number 14: always discover the map. Look for different locations, maybe some hidden features in this game, some quizzes, some puzzles, work on them, unlocking them, and this might give you certain additional benefits or materials or resources, or will allow you to progress with your character further on. And also the region exploration is going to provide you with certain benefits, additional rewards, allowing you to progress further with your outposts, with your main factory, getting all the benefits, different materials, resources, summons, and so on and so forth. This is a huge and major part of this game as well, the world's exploration. So don't sleep on this, explore the world, explore the map. And tip 15. The last one, but not the least, obviously is going to be about the bosses. They're not going to be that easy in this game in certain cases, and especially when you're going to have repetitive battles with higher levels, with some, I don't know, debuffs maybe applied to you, I'm not sure about it. But they're all going to have different mechanics, different patterns, maybe immunities, and you need to find their patterns, the way how they're going to act, what kind of attacks they're going to use. So here, using all the skills and mechanics and combinations of different characters, obviously progressing with them, upgrading their levels, and having a better understanding of what kind of a team composition you use for this one boss specifically, or what kind of debuffs you should apply, is going to make your life easier. So just discover it in advance, maybe give a couple tries, or start to work on it from lower levels to have a better understanding of how to deal with these opponents. And they're also going to have more than one phase. Keep this in mind, because their patterns might actually change, and the type of attacks that they're going to do. And with that being said, I believe this is going to summarize the whole idea, the whole topic of this video regarding 15 tips which are going to help you to progress easier, faster, have a better start, and better understanding of different mechanics of this game. Hope this video was really helpful for you. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment, and see you guys in the next one. Take care.